Hi, hello there, it's me, Billy, and today I am going to be drawing over and complaining about artists' art that is way better than anything I could do. And also, sorry I didn't get to everyone. I hardly got to anyone, actually. That's because I was not expecting this many people, and I was not expecting these things to take so long. So, yeah, sorry about that. So first off, we have this one by Atlas, with this red panda with wings. I'm not sure if they naturally grow with wings like this, but I don't know, this one has wings, so I guess we're going to be working with that. Before we start, I'd like to say that I really do like the feathers on the wings. They look really nice. I mean, good job on the whole drawing, really. It's better than anything I could do, for sure. So, anyway, here is everything I did to it. Pretty sure I totally ruined the whole idea for the pose, but let's keep going anyway. So first off here, as you see on this leg area, where one color of the fur is kind of bleeding into the other one, and there's kind of that transition, well, there aren't any lines there, but on here on the tail where the same thing happens, and on the face there are lines. So, just for the sake of consistency, I changed so that none of them have lines. And I don't know, I feel like that just kind of adds a little bit more unity to it. And also on the tail, I added little bits of fur jutting out here and there, just going out of the silhouette, just so you know that it is indeed fur, not like plastic or something. I don't know, and a little on the inside too. So then we have this area on the face where the two colors are intersecting. So basically I just made this area a little bit more round. So on this version you see there are just kind of these lines that are up and down. So I just rounded that out so a little bit. I think it looks a bit more organic, a little bit more natural, I guess. So down here there's this feather that just kind of like stops shortly, doesn't go too much of a point. I don't know if there's like some kind of story behind that. Maybe the part of the wing was cut off for some reason. But anyway, I just like made it full looking and gave it like a little bit of a point as other feathers have. So next thing I did with the wings just kind of brought it out a lot more. So this is just a compositional thing, but I feel like the character just kind of looked like it was just stuck in this one corner. There's a lot of empty space on this left side, and I don't know, there's just a lot of detail on the right side of lines and stuff, not much on the left. So by adding this wing, I feel like both sides of the piece are just a little bit more balanced with that. So another part where I kind of run the pose is the legs. Originally the legs were all kind of like sticking together, and I don't know, I felt like they kind of looked like they were forming into one leg. It was kind of hard to tell where one ended and one began, so I just kind of separated them a little. I probably could have been a little bit more subtle with this, but I don't know. So now they're just kind of sticking out a little bit more. So again, probably run the pose there, but hope that's somewhat helpful. So next up, we have this rather excited looking blue animal. So yeah, anyway, this is everything I did to it. So first off, what I changed was down here on the chest, there was this middle stripe of this blue color, I guess a different type of fur. But I don't know, I felt like it looked almost like a shadow. Like, it just didn't look like it was actually connected to the rest of it. So basically what I did is just added some little protrusions here and there. Obviously not in the same style as you did here. I don't know how to replicate that, but I hope it gets the point across. I don't know, it just feels like it's a little bit more connected. You can tell that they're the same material. So the next thing I believe is a perspective issue, or else maybe I'm just reading the pose wrong. I don't know, let's just pretend like it's a perspective issue. So it kind of looks like the arms are behind the fur that's jutting out the chest. So I don't think that's physically possible, so basically I just pushed them in front of it so the fur on the chest is behind the arms or legs. So again, I don't know if I'm reading the pose wrong, so just tell me if I am. And so next on the eyes, so the art style is pretty highly detailed. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on here, but the eyes just kind of feel a little blank. So an easy way to just add detail is just two white dots, which is literally what I did. So just some highlights coming from somewhere or another. I feel like that helps a little bit. Next up, we have this potato by Mag Stick. I'll be honest with you all, I think this is probably the worst one we have here. I mean, it's a potato. No potato drawing will ever look good. You gotta understand that potatoes are hideous. So, what I found is potatoes and yams look very similar. Now, just be clear, yams are not hideous. Yams are beautiful. So basically, all I did was just get rid of the thing that says potato and replace it with yam. This this makes this drawing like 100% professional, like just mind-blowingly good. It's that simple. Just replace potato with the word yam. So I hope that is helpful. After looking it up, the internet says I'm supposed to pronounce it as nice. So this dragon here was made by Nice Studios. And would someone please tell me how a reptile grows eyebrows like that? I mean, those are some nice looking eyebrows. Anyway, so the first thing I did was, just chopped off a big section of the left side of the neck. So I just erased that whole area. I don't know, I just had a hard time imagining it fitting into the head somehow, so I just kind of got rid of a big chunk of that over there. So if you look towards the ear, you will see that there's a light shadow where one side of the ear is not getting hit by as much light as the other side is. And this is, as far as I can tell, the only instance of shadows. I mean, there are definitely highlights here and there, but you definitely would want to keep a fair balance of light and shade throughout your compositions. Unless, of course, you just decide to not render your drawing at all, that's completely fine too. But if you put some highlights in, you might as well put some shadows in as well. So, in particular, what I did was cast shadows. Cast shadows from the jaw, from the lip on the teeth, and some form shadows on the horns. And also, I just made the jaw a little bit more rounded. From what I can tell, most animals have a fairly rounded jaw in that area. You can just ignore everything I did to the eye. It doesn't fit the style at all, and the original eye was completely fine, so just don't pay any attention to that. So, also, there were a few lines laid out in the interior of the drawing, and they kind of had some harsh stops where they met the colors, so basically I just made these into a little bit more of a point, I guess, just by erasing the edges off towards the tips and adding pointier bits, so it just kind of flows into the rest of the drawing a little bit more, if that makes any sense. So, this is probably just a thing I do. I'm not sure if this is actually, like, a thing anyone skilled does, but if you notice there on, like, the nose and the forehead, there are these clumps of lighter areas. So, in the original version, they're just a large area covered with a very soft brush of some lighter color, and I put some focused areas here and there. I don't know, I like the way that looks. Maybe that's a very bad thing to do, maybe that's a really bad idea, but I do that in my drawings a lot, so I don't know, I just did it here too. And I would suggest that you use brushes with a little bit more of a hard edge to them. While soft edges definitely do exist, it's always a good idea to keep a good balance of hard and soft edges throughout in your art. Okay, anyway, I hope that has been useful somehow. So next up we have Pig Bloke by Lavender Knight. Yeah, you all know who Pig Bloke is. Yeah, so pretty much all I did to this was just add a lot of contrast. That's pretty much everything I did here. But I'll talk about the other stuff. So, on the crown, you had some, little bars of light, which I'm pretty sure that's how you're supposed to have it on rings of metal. I'm definitely not good at metal myself, but, they're only like the little bars of light, and that works the same for darker areas too, so basically I just sloppily and lazily added some darker areas on the crown as well. And again, just a lot more contrast in, like, say, the little jewel things on there. Contrast is nice. So, also, you see that there is a highlight on the crown, so naturally there should be one on the eye. Now that I think of it, I probably should have added two, because it looks like there are two bright spots on the crown, but I guess it's too late for that. But anyway, along with that, I added some shadows on the eye, because before it was just kind of one solid color, as you see, so I just added some, blue. I mean, I guess it probably should have been red, because everything else is red in this, but I don't know. So, as I talked about in the last one, adding little bits of, highlight-ish areas. In the areas that looked like they were the most pink, I basically just put some whitish pink areas. so it kind of looks like they're getting hit by the light. I don't know, I felt like that added a little bit more depth to it. And also on the edge of Piglook's head, where his forehead just kind of reaches the red area, that wouldn't really be facing the light at all, so I pretty much just made that very dark over there. And so the fluffy cloak thing had pretty much no highlights anywhere, so I just briefly, quickly, and lazily added those. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Sorry I couldn't get to everyone, but that would have been a lot. That would have been many, many videos. So yeah, I hope my mindless nitpicking was useful to someone.